You know, so we're there. It's your boy Glowski Global Burger back again on this channel, back again on this podcast with another healing message for you. If it's not for you, it's for your friend or for your family. So tap into the message. Let's get it because this one is divine. This is divine. If you don't know, now you know. I'm the nobody who is here to heal you on your journey or to help you heal on your journey or to guide you heal on your journey. So let's get it. Today I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. I always have a lot of stuff to talk about, but today's topic is very heavy. It's very strong because I feel like majority of the world, almost everybody goes through it without realizing. You know what I'm saying? So touching this topic today really is gonna bring me good feeling and good vibrations because I feel like I'll be doing a lot of unpacking, you know? So let me not talk too much. Let's dive in. Let's dive straight into the video. So today we're gonna be talking about unpacking emotional trauma. Unpacking emotional trauma. You know? Emotional trauma no be small. Emotional trauma no be small. And sometimes you can be physically traumatized, but eventually you go turn to emotion trauma because it will get into your feelings. You understand what I'm saying? So today we're gonna talk about reasons why it's very good to unpack emotional traumas. We're also gonna be talking about some of the emotional traumas, like the aspects of emotional traumas, the type of traumas that we face that we don't unpack, that we need to unpack. It is very necessary for us to unpack all these emotional traumas. You know what I'm saying? So let's dive in. Let's get it. So today, I took my time before coming to do this video because I realized that it's actually a very broad topic. So I need to dive deep into the major ones. So today I have 3 major types of emotional traumas that happens regularly in our lives or in this globe that we're in. Do you understand what I'm saying? 3 major types of traumas, emotional traumas that we have. Abandonment trauma, which is when you're feeling like you're abandoned. We got the neglect trauma, which is when you feel like you've been neglected. And we got the betrayal trauma, which is when you've been betrayed and all of that. We're gonna dive deep into all these aspects. So yeah, stick with me, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start with abandonment trauma. So abandonment trauma is basically when you've been abandoned physically or emotionally, and it can happen in any part or any time of your life. You know what I'm saying? And when abandonment trauma happens, or when one has been abandoned by the close one, by family, whoever, it teaches the nervous system, right? It teaches the nervous system that people leave even when they say they love you. You know what I'm saying? So like, whoever going through abandonment trauma, the main reason why you're feeling how you're feeling, main reason why you have your guard up 24/7 because you're used to people leaving. You've been abandoned your whole life and you don't want to be abandoned anymore. So what you then tend to do is you tend to overdo stuff, you tend to I don't want to use the word overlap, but you just be clingy too much. You just be texting too much. You just be doing a lot of stuff just to give yourself that assurance that the person is not gonna leave you. Like all those stuff happen when you've been affected by this abandoned trauma. When you're traumatized by people always leaving you, like those are the signs. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you push people away because you assume they're gonna leave anyway. So you don't give people a chance sometimes as well. That's what happens, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, all that falls under abandoned trauma. Those are the signs, stuff that pop out when you've been abandoned by somebody you love, by family, by a close one. and it's traumatized you. These are the signs anyway. So we're gonna tap into the next one. The next one, don't forget, we're talking about 3 major types of trauma today, which is abandoned trauma, which we've just touched base on, neglect trauma, and betrayal trauma. So now we're gonna talk about neglect trauma, and neglect trauma is actually a broad one that we can tap in as well, and it basically happens. Let me say, like, majority of neglect trauma happens during childhood. It happens during childhood. Sometimes it's either in a family, maybe like the parents have like 2 kids, 3 kids, and one of the kids always feels like they are unseen, they are unimportant, like they're not worthy, you know what I'm saying? Like they feel neglected 24/7. That's just on the family aspect. It can happen it can also happen in like relationships. It can also happen almost everywhere. But the fact that you always feel neglected causes you trauma. You know what I'm saying? It causes you trauma. And if it happens from childhood, it plays a major role in your life when you grow up. When stuff like that happen to us, moving forward in our future or in our next chapter, when we always feel like, we're never important, we're never seen, we get very uncomfortable. Like, you begin to be uncomfortable when you receive attention, when you receive love, when someone wants you to be seen. You get very uncomfortable because it's something you're not used to. You know what I'm saying? So if you see yourself getting uncomfortable from receiving too much love and all, it could be signs that you've gone through neglect trauma, or you're going through neglect trauma. You're used to not being seen and all, so you receiving all this attention and all this love right now, you're seeing it to be, you're very uncomfortable. Sometimes you might even think it's fake love. In this world, you attract what you are. You really attract what you are. So when you feel like you're not wanted, you're not important, you're not needed in any situation, if you feel that sort of feeling, you're gonna attract people around you that have similar feelings or who vibrate on similar realms. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're gonna attract a partner that feels the same way as you, so you guys will just be settling for less because you guys are usually not heard, not seen. So you guys just keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? We are the unseen and we are the unwanted people, so let's just stay in our place like that. Like, it does happen. So if you see all these signs, just know that you have serious trauma that you need to unpack. And don't forget, I'm not only talking about the types of trauma that is or whatever. By the end of this podcast, by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to unpack that emotional trauma, how to begin healing from that emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes as well with the neglect trauma, you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know how to ask for help or when to ask for help because you feel like you're not needed. So it's like you don't know how to do it, But once you start unpacking it, whenever you need help, you reach out because you deserve what you seek. You know what I'm saying? So so that's just a little 1 or 2 explanations on neglect trauma and a few signs I spoke about today, or I'm speaking about today, is just to help you spot out signs on the type of trauma that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? So we've touched base on neglect trauma. We've touched base on abandoned trauma. Last on the list is betrayal trauma. And betrayal trauma is serious. Hey, betrayal trauma is serious because it's easy for somebody to betray you. For somebody to betray you and break your heart is so easy. At the same time, most people do it not even on purpose, but It's just because of how much you trusted the person. So once they don't stick to their promise or stick to their bond or whatever you guys had going on, the trust is broken, and that is where betrayal trauma begins. Betrayal trauma teaches you, it really teaches you that love is dangerous. Because once you get once you get heartbroken, once like the love you entrusted in someone gets broken, love becomes dangerous to you. So that's what it does. And mostly like after imagine you being betrayed. You're gonna really struggle to love someone else or to fully even trust another person. To be honest with you, like once you've been betrayed, it's like your love world just stops. It just ends right there because the person you really trusted has let you down, and now you have to let your guard down and let somebody in again. Oh no 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 no! You just guard up. You guard up crazy because you've been traumatized by it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes as well, like a few signs that pop out when you're going through betrayal trauma is you keep checking for signs that you're about to be lied to or someone's about to break your heart again. So you keep overdoing stuff, you know, you become hyper vigilant, you know what I'm saying? Like you be double checking like text message, you be double checking stuff, you be going through your partner's phone. You just be doing a lot because of the type of experience you had, because of whoever that broke your trust, you know. So you end up just being a love police. A love police, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes like you doing that, you just end up hurting your own self, you know. When you seek, you find. So imagine going through your partner's phone, whatever you want to find, you find, you know. But most of the time it's not your fault, it's not our fault. It's just because of the trauma that we've been through. So we're just guarding up, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you've been betrayed, you know, and to you, love is dangerous. So you need to make sure that whatever you're going into is not danger, basically, you know what I'm saying? And most importantly, when you're going through betrayal trauma, you begin to think that everyone that you're gonna meet is gonna betray you. Everyone that you're gonna meet is gonna hurt you because of the trauma, because of what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Let me check if I'm recording this because I hope I am. Yes, I am recording. We are active. So yeah, so that's what happens. You begin to believe that everybody that is gonna come around you or is gonna come into your life is gonna hurt you, and you know that's very very I don't know what word to use for this, but it's wild to have that kind of mindset, because once you think that in your head, whoever that comes your way will actually hurt you because you've thought about that. And the thought is like, is what brings the world. The thought is what births the world. Whatever you think, you have thoughts, and whatever you have thought shall come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you think about can come alive, or let me say will come alive. You know, it's like manifestation. So you're manifesting the person who's gonna betray you to come and betray you again, because you know, like that's how life goes. You know, that's how life goes. It's like a mirror. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and betrayal trauma, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and anybody going through this who has these signs or who's seeing these signs in them, just know that you have unspoken pain inside you that you need to let out. You need to unpack that emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we're traumatized, we're not able to separate trauma from our personality. You know, like trauma takes over our personality, so we end up wearing a mask in our everyday life because we are protecting our heart. if we've been neglected in our childhood, we end up looking for signs to not be neglected again, or we end up looking for safe spaces that just so that we don't get, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's just wild, it's just wild. But yeah, once you're able to differentiate trauma from personality, if you're able to separate them, you begin, because you need to know how to separate them. You know, things like this tend to happen when you're traumatized. You basically, because you've put that trauma mask on, you think all the actions you're taking with that trauma mask is actually you, but it's not you. You know, it's not you. It's because you haven't unpacked all that trauma. All that trauma is still in your brain, it's still in your heart, it's still inside you. So it's created a new vessel, a new body, a new personality for you out there. And that is not really you. You know what I'm saying? The real you is inside, waiting for you to unpack all these trauma that's been boiling down inside you, just so the true you can be revealed, can come out. You know what I'm saying? So that is something major we all need to really tap into. So tap into this message. It be very divine. This message will be very divine. You know what I'm saying? Let me say one thing to you guys. You see me, the way I speak, the way I talk is divine. It's divine. I get the message in my head and I let it out. So sometimes you see me looking out for words because I'm trying to get them in. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, they'll come in. I do my key points on what I feel like makes sense to be spoken about, and then I just let the message come into me divinely, so the message can come to you guys divinely as well, and this message will find who it needs to find. So yeah, today we are going to unpack all our emotional traumas. So we've spoken about 3 major traumas that can be happening in our lives, which is betrayal trauma, neglect trauma, and abandonment trauma. We've spoken about a few signs that happens during all these trauma, and so by now we should all, whoever's watching this video should know what type of trauma they're going through if it's under one of these 3 traumas. So if you're going through any of these, now I'm gonna show you how to unpack those traumas, how to unpack the weight. You understand? Yeah. So number 1, you have to be able to identify the trauma and face it. So number 1, identify and face it. That's number 1. How to unpack the trauma. Yeah, I have about 5 bullet points for you today on how to basically unpack it. Even with the first 2, you begin. So you have to identify it. You have to know what type of trauma you're going through. You have to know what type of evil is doing you. Let me put it like that. You have to know what you're going through. You identify it. So if it's like neglect trauma you're going through, you know that, oh Charlie, I've actually been feeling like this for a very long time. You have to identify. You have to know what you're going through. You have to know what it is, and then you face it. You can't heal what you pretend doesn't exist. Do you understand? You keep pretending that you are okay, you are fine. Okay, it's still gonna be inside you, because truly, it's not okay, it's not fine. You're traumatized. So you have to identify it first, and then you face it. Because if you don't identify it, you can't heal it. You see, if you stay pretending that it doesn't exist, then there's not gonna be nothing to heal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So first things first, you identify, oh, I'm going through emotional trauma. Oh my God, I've been betrayed, I've been heartbroken. Okay, so since that's what it is, this is what I'm going to do. Second thing, you observe what triggers you. You observe what makes you jealous, what makes you spiral of someone, what makes you overgive. Overgiving is one thing that I feel like most people or most of us feel like it's not trauma. But I'm here to tell you today, overgiving sometimes can be trauma. Don't get it twisted. There's more in giving than receiving. You have to do good. Nobody is saying don't do good. But let me share a story. You see me here, I give. I give, 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 I give. I'm a giver. Everybody who knows me, everybody who's around me, everybody who's around me, I gotta make sure the bed is looking juicy, But everybody who's around me knows I'm a giver. I give. Like, I give so much to the extent that I don't even realize what I'm doing sometimes until it starts hurting me. You know what I'm saying? So now, let me break it down for you guys. Most time of my life, I was alone. Like, I traveled alone at the age of 13, 14. I think it was 14. I traveled alone into Europe. I faced life myself. I faced my fears myself, all alone. And throughout all this journey, I wasn't with family. I was just with friends and people who I feel like I needed, and how I used to, let me say, keep them around. It was not planned. It was just automatically switched on because I never had. So when I get, I give. I just give just to keep that family around me so I'm never alone, And that helped me so much. It helped me so much. It made me build one of the amazing connections. Don't get twisted. My personality is a million plus. It's a million plus. So that's what helps me with my connections and how open-minded I am. That's what helps me. But I was just giving all the time just to keep my just to secure me with people around me, like to secure people with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to break it down because I'm just deep in it. I'm trying to unpack the emotional trauma right now. You understand? Because I was giving, and I'm now understanding that the reason why I've been giving a lot. Like, people who deserve it, they deserve it. But I've given to people who didn't even deserve it. That's what I'm saying. People who don't even deserve to get it. Like, they get it too. Because I was just trying to, and it wasn't me doing it like on purpose at that moment. It was just an automatic reflex because I'm used to being alone, and I never wanted to be alone when I was alone in the UK, in Germany, all of that. So I gave. In Germany, I wasn't alone really, but in the UK, give, just to keep them around, just to make sure, say, we are all family, we are all doing this. But now I'm just deep in it. That it's because I felt that abandonment. It's because I was in the abandonment trauma, It's because of that. So I was overgiving. There's nothing bad in giving, but giving to people who don't deserve. I don't think that's a good thing. So I've just unpacked my emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I hope you tap in. So yeah, we was on point number 2, observing what triggers you. Observing your emotional triggers. And then the overgiving part is when I had to just tap into that proper, because most of us, giving is good, so you'll be giving and you won't see nothing bad about it. But overgiving is not good, because then you tend to be giving to who doesn't deserve. All these habits you get into when you're traumatized, they're not just bad habits, they're survival instincts that has now come with that emotional trauma. the survival responses from the body. It's like the body is just trying to protect you from what you went through, just so it doesn't happen again. So when all the stuff is boiled down inside of you, that new person that comes across, that new mask you put on, that those new habits you get into that you think is your new personality, is actually not just bad habits. They're just survival responses from your body, from your soul. You know what I'm saying? Until you unpack that emotional trauma from you, you're always gonna be in that survival mode, just ready for whatever, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you overreacting to certain situations, it's just your body trying to protect you from something that is gone through before. So yeah, sometimes guys, if you see anybody overreacting over a situation, just remember and know that it's just a survival response from their body because of their trauma. So sometimes you gotta take it easy on them as well. If somebody overreacts in a situation, or you gotta know that it's just trauma that's tapped into them, and that is making them do all those overreacting stuff. So you gotta take it easy with certain people sometimes as well, man. And number 3, you gotta seek a safe space. You actually gotta seek a safe space. That is very, very important. Not just safe people, not just safe partners, but a safe space, a place where you feel very safe, a place where you feel like you can be heard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got seek those type of spaces, and those type of spaces, it can come down to you getting therapy. It can come down to you having that one person that you always feel safe with your words going out to them. It can come down to you joining support groups. These support groups where everybody just sits down, you mention your name, you say, you just unpack it, you just unpack it out. You know what I'm saying? So just seek a safe space and just let it out loud, because when it boils down inside you, it gives you that new habit that you think is you. And remember, you have to be able to separate the trauma from your personality. Another way you can tap into a safe space is by journaling. It's by journaling, like writing down your feelings. As much as you're not saying it out loud, when you write it out, your intentions are coming out. So you gotta be able to journal as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll help. We've touched base on almost everything right now. Ways in how to unpack emotional traumas. What must be done to unpack emotional trauma. I hope where we've reached, I know that the food has gone into your mind, the message has tapped into your mind. So I hope you take this message out to the world, spread it, tell your brother, tell your sisters, tell your loved one that if there's any emotional trauma inside of you, they need to unpack it. That is the beginning of healing trauma. You have to unpack it. You understand what I'm saying? In my next episodes, I'm gonna be talking about other stuff that will be linked to the weight of unspoken trauma. I'm gonna be talking about how being silent and not speaking on pain can actually also cause a lot of damage. So it's very broad. So I'm gonna break it down in episodes just so you guys can tap in. So keep following. But today's episode is quite easy and steady, but very broad. So we're talking about unpacking emotional trauma. And as you guys know, we've spoken about 3 major types of trauma that can be happening in our life: the neglect trauma, abandonment trauma, and betrayal trauma. And I've given you so many ways and signs on how to pinpoint what you're going through, how to basically come out of it, how to basically unpack it. And don't forget, you go, look out for the emotional triggers, stuff that triggers you. You go identify the trauma and you gotta face it. And then the last of all, you gotta seek a safe space where your voice can be heard out loud and nobody is judging you for nothing. You gotta seek a safe space. On my journey, right? On my journey, almost everyone was asking me and telling me, Boga, you need therapy. You go for therapy. Do this, do that, do this, do that. I was hearing therapy almost every single day. Almost every single day. And I always felt to myself, I don't need no therapy. I do not need any therapy, But I think the reason why I was so confident in saying I don't need any therapy is because I always had that safe space. I always had that safe space, that safe surrounding to be able to unpack my trauma. That is the reason why I was always not listening to people saying go to therapy and stuff. Because me personally, I don't feel comfortable just going into a room, closing the door, sitting down, and someone asking me questions of what I'm going through, and I'm answering any questions. I'm not comfortable with that. I would rather let it happen very natural, divine, you know what I'm saying? And how I was unpacking my pain during my journey was I just be meeting people, and then just by one conversation, I unpack so much weight onto them. But because they are also healers. In this world there's healers. Like there's healers around, people who are just in this world just to heal. I'm a healer. I know that for a fact, and that is why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be at places and I'll just connect with a healer. All those empaths. I just connect with them and I'll just drop weight on them. And they're able to consume and then take it wherever it needs to go. So on my journey, that is how I was unpacking my weight. So I'm here to tell you today, if you're going through anything wild, and whilst on your journey, you meet someone and you feel like they are safe for you to let out your emotions to, your trauma to, let it out, because it reduces the weight. It begins the journey if you haven't begun. It helps in healing. Thank you guys for watching this video today. I hope you've got the divine message by this point. It's your boy Global Burger, your love doctor, your grief doctor, your number one therapist. Lock in. If you haven't put on the notification bell, put it on, because I'm going to be giving you countless videos. You know how the thing go? We're out. Glowski.